Are you a real estate wholesaler and you're just tired of being in the convincing game with these property owners? Every single day you get on the phone with them, there's a lot of friction, they don't want to hear from you. And then when you finally get them to open up, now you feel like you got to be this ninja salesperson just to get them to even be close to a price that would be reasonable. Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you a new model. I call it the sifting and sorting model, not the convincing model, where now the business becomes more enjoyable. You have easier conversations with property owners. It's easier to get a deal done, and most importantly, it's so much more enjoyable. Now, the sifting and sorting model requires one overarching strategy, and that is that we need a large abundance of leads. Now, you might be thinking, Chico, of course I need lots of leads. I know you need lots of leads. That's what we're here. When you are in a situation as a wholesaler and you get a lead here or there, or every single day you're trying to figure out, how am I going to get leads? How am I going to get leads? And so at any point in time when you get one lead, you got to take that lead and treat it like it's a baby. Like you got to bring it in a little pillow, just so that it doesn't get butt hurt, because that's the only lead you have, and who knows when you're going to get another lead. That's the problem. We need to convert the model to being one where you have so many leads. There's an abundance of leads that then now you change the model. You change the model from being a convincer to just being a sifting and sorting machine. That's where the magic happens. And everybody in the industry talks about finding motivated sellers, and I do too. But the thing that you need to find are reasonable sellers. Reasonable sellers are the ones that are motivated, but they're also reasonable about the price that they're looking to sell the property for. And now when you get those people on the phone, then everything becomes easier. However, they are not in abundance out there. So you need lots of leads to sift and sort to be able to find those property owners. Because the last thing we want to do is waste time negotiating with property owners that are just so rigid on their price. We want to be able to quickly determine if a deal is a deal or not a deal, and then either try to put that property under contract or say the magic 4-letter word. It's not the F word. It begins with an N. It's next. And that is the key to this model. Now, in order to be able to implement this model effectively, you need a type of lead that is different than a cold call lead. You need a warm incoming lead. You need somebody who is reaching out to you, not you reaching out to them. Because when you're reaching out to someone as a cold call or out of the blue, then it sets a stage for a very combative initial relationship. If you've ever done cold calling, the first thing out of the seller's mouth is, how'd you get my number? Who are you? And all these questions. And then once you get past that, even like getting a price out of them is like squeezing old lemon, because the first thing that they're gonna say is, well, you called me, why don't you make me an offer? And then all of a sudden now you're in this tug of war between them that it just makes the whole situation so much more difficult. So instead, we want warm incoming leads. We want leads that have filled out a form or have some sort of mechanism in which they reached out to us. Then when we call those people back, then we're just letting them know that, hey, this is Cris with National Property Buyer. You filled out the form requesting an offer on your property at such and such, and you said you were looking to sell because of XYZ. Does that ring a bell? And they say, yes. Okay, great. Well, again, my name is Cris with National Property Buyer, and I'd love to get more information about the property and see if it might qualify for us to be able to make you an offer. Do you have a few minutes? And they'll say, yes. You're calling as a welcome guest, not as an annoying pest that you are when you're doing the cold calling. Now, the next thing we need in this particular model is we need low-cost leads. Because the thing is that we're looking at not being in a convincing business. If you're advertising on Google and you're paying $300 to $400 a lead, then you need to be in the convincing business. Why? Because those leads are expensive, and you got to do whatever you can to squeeze as much money as you can from these leads. But now instead of that, if you have leads that you're paying $15 or $20 a lead for that lead, now the pressure dramatically decreases for you in terms of you having to do something with that particular lead. Why? Because they are not that expensive, meaning that if somebody is an ass, somebody is just not being reasonable, then it's easier to say next to someone that you've paid $20 for on a lead basis versus someone that you've paid $300 or $400. And then that's what happens when you get into trouble, especially when you're starting out brand new, when you try to implement all these different strategies like subject to and all these various ways of trying to slice and dice a deal, 40 different ways. That comes about because of the fact that you have a very expensive lead and you're trying to do everything you can. And so you want to be able to generate not only incoming leads, but leads that are also at a low cost. All right, the next part of this model is you need daily lead flow. Very, very important, because what happens is this. It's really more of a mindset. If you have a lead and it doesn't seem like a deal, and for us, we just say, forget about it. We're going to wait for the next one. And the only reason we're able to do that is because we know that in an hour, could be in 30 minutes, could be in a couple hours, another lead will come in through the pipeline. And even if today, all the leads that we talked to, say we talked to 3 leads and they were all turds, tomorrow there are going to be another 3 or 4 leads that are going to be coming to us, and now we're going to have another opportunity. And so it's very important to have that, because that allows you to put yourself in that mindset of being in the sifting and sorting business. Because if you get a lead today, but you have no idea when that next lead is going to come, then you're going to try to do anything you can in order to make a deal when there isn't any deal. You're going to try to feel obligated to having communication with a property owner who is just horrible to deal with, but you feel obligated to. And to me, that's not pleasurable. I like to work with genuinely good people that we can help and that they want our help. And that's the nature of having a great business. And so if you don't have that, that's a problem. But again, we need to have daily incoming leads each and every single day. So then that way we never have to deal with the turds and the jackasses. Now, when it comes to generating these type of leads, where it's a reasonable property owner, we have leads in abundance, we are not paying that much money for these leads. They're warm incoming leads, meaning they filled out a form requesting us to make them an offer on their property. The only way to accomplish this for us, and probably for you, would be online marketing, specifically TikTok, Facebook, and Google ads. And now when it comes to low cost, the king is going to be Facebook and TikTok. And that's the only way, because we have to do a couple things in order to be able to make this happen. Number one is, like I said, we're using online marketing. Number two is we're increasing our geography. So rather than focusing on one particular area, like if I live in Fort Lauderdale, if I pick my area, which is Fort Lauderdale, it's going to make it very difficult for me to not spend a whole bunch of money on leads. So by spreading out, that's going to enable me to keep my cost per lead down, but yet being able to have as many opportunities as I can. Now, the reason why I believe that this is just a far superior model is that, number one, is that it's a no pressure situation. And it's no pressure for the property owner, but certainly no pressure for you, because of the fact that you got leads coming in each and every single day. It's also a more effective use of your time, because when you're generating leads like this, they come to you throughout the day. So, and it's a machine that works in the background, even when you're not operating it, because it's an ad platform. So that means that you could be out with your family. You could be out at the gym. It doesn't really matter. The ads are running, the leads are coming in. And then now when the leads come in, then when you're available, you're going to reach out to them and have a conversation with them. And the conversation is going to be nice and easy. So to me, that's the ultimate type of lifestyle business that you want. The last but certainly not least benefit of this particular model is that you have an opportunity to do laid down deals. And that's only because of the fact that you have a lot of frequency. You have a lot of leads that are coming in. And so by the sheer statistical process of this, you're going to end up having leads where the seller's already asking a great price. Seller's in high motivation state. The seller is okay with you making a profit because they just want to get rid of this problem property. And as a result of that, they're just lay down deals. So you don't have to work hard for every deal, and you'll get those. And yes, there are some deals that maybe you might have to just ask a little more in order to get that property reduced. But again, you're doing so without the pressure, without feeling the pressure of, oh my God, I got to make something work because I have no idea when my next lead is coming. And that's really the important thing about this particular model. So here's what I want you to do next. Watch this video, and that video is going to share with you specifically our process for generating motivated sellers using these online platforms. And now you can also implement this strategy and have a sifting and sorting model and not a convincing model in your wholesaling business.